All right, next question is, it's very common and easy for us to beat up on developers. Economic development is very important in San Antonio. It leads to a lot of jobs that we have today. What would you do to encourage economic development in San Antonio?
Yes, you're right. There has to be a balance, and it does bring new jobs to San Antonio, and we want our children and our families to get those jobs, and that is important to us, but they need to be responsible. We need to also make sure, like we said earlier, that we are going, these new subdivisions will have the city services that they need. And also, as a city, we need to collaborate with the school districts and the institutions of higher learning so that we have an educated workforce, so that our children and our families can get these good jobs that are coming to San Antonio, and they won't have to leave if they don't want to.
I believe working really strongly with our economic development department down at City Hall is the best way to go. They've been very proactive over the last couple of years to pull in the Toyotas, the Microsofts, the Washington Mutuals to bolster our economy here in San Antonio, but I think we can do better. A big factor, though, is the EPA looking at San Antonio to stamp us with non-attainment, poor air quality. And if that happens this next year, that's going to hurt us in regards to reaching out to other companies to relocate here in San Antonio. So we have to look at the overall picture, and that's something I have a vision for.
On the board of two chambers in San Antonio, economic development was of course, the main thing that we did, and I think the city has been doing a great job, obviously, of bringing economic development to San Antonio. And so we want to continue along that same vein. Economic Development Department for the city has targeted industries, and I think that has to expand. I think we have 8 industries that we target. We need to target more and give them more incentives. If we're going to compete nationally with other cities, we have to incentivize, and that's why tax abatements are a necessary part of attracting businesses to San Antonio.
Almost good dance partners. Well, you know, I think everybody's talked about it. San Antonio is like a freight train. We're on track to just becoming this great city. We're bringing in all these businesses. But think like a business owner. What do you like in a city? You like smart workers that are available, where you're not going to pay them a huge wage compared to New York City, for example, where things are outrageous. Go to California and buy a house. It costs you $1 million to buy something good here for 80 grand. Well, what is the city's role? To make sure we don't have a derailment down the way. So you look to that train track ahead of us. Is it making sure we have all of the infrastructure in place to handle this growth? Is it making sure that we have the policies in place that businesses continue to want to come here? And I think tax abatement, rather, is a part of that.
I think in communities, one of the most important things you can do to promote development is have low taxes. And that's something that we don't have in our community. I want property tax relief. That's what I believe would be very important to continue on this great economic growth that our community has. I want to work with the mayor, I want to work with city offices, and I want to work with developers, but I also want to hold them accountable. I believe that San Antonio is growing. I think that people invest in San Antonio, and I want to help with the impediments to growth.